Hey guys, today I want to make an awesome video for you about my favorite supplement, hands down for strength. I would say that this is right up there with creatine. For some people, you may actually get a better result with this versus creatine. So before I jump into this, I do want to note that I am not a doctor, so any recommendations I make about supplementation, that's not medical advice. However, I am a board certified behavior analyst, and what that means is I have a great appreciation for research, and I know how to read and extrapolate information from studies. So if I make a supplementation recommendation, there's basically three main things I'm going to do before I even recommend it to anyone. The first is I want to look at studies. Clinical research, does it indicate a positive result in performance for trained individuals, not just for people who are sedentary, not trained. Next thing I'm going to look for is non-biased input from a wide variety of users, again, who are training, that have had similar positive experiences using this supplement. And so that is something I look for through reviews, just through friends, other lifters that I talk to. I want to get their experiences and see how they match up. And if that's if that's true, then that kind of meets the second checklist item for me. Now, the last thing that I'll look at before I make a recommendation for anyone is going to be my own personal experience over a period of time without any other changes in place. So, for example, if I were to say, hey, I recommend creatine, it's gone through those first two, right? It's got the research. A lot of people are finding similar experiences. They're getting a strength boost. Now, for myself, I'm taking it, I want to give it a period of time with no other changes in diet, no other changes in training, and then I can talk to you personally about what it's actually done for me as an advanced lifter, okay? So if it's done something for me as an advanced lifter, and those changes in diet and lifting weren't in place, then you know that there's probably something to this, right? And it's worthwhile. So the supplement I'm talking about today is going to meet all of those different criterias. And there's not many things I've come across that'll do that. So you might be wondering now, well, what is Dom talking about? So what I'm talking about is something called phosphatidic acid. All right, now there's actually some interesting things to note about phosphatidic acid. So let me back up a little bit. Phosphatidic acid has something in it that will upregulate something called mTOR in the body. And what that does is it increases protein synthesis. And so, again, it's important to keep up on your protein intake. I always say that, your diet will always be more important for results than the supplements you take, including the supplements I recommend, okay? So make sure you're on top of your protein intake before you even consider something like what I'm talking about today. So it will upregulate protein, right? So that's going to give you a quicker result from your training that you're doing in the gym. You're breaking things down in the gym. You're going home, you're getting your protein, and you're kind of building yourself back up. So this can kind of help speed that process. The other thing really cool about phosphatidic acid is it increases glycogen stores in muscle tissue throughout the body. And I'm going to get into the research on that in just a second. And I'll also link a description to research below, below the video, so be sure to check that out. So let's jump into some of the things that are found in the research, okay? Now, as far as the research, the stuff that I'm going to reference now is based on double-blind randomized design, which is a pretty strong model. And the investigation that this is from lasted 8 weeks in trained individuals. They didn't have dietary changes, which is good, so it was somewhat controlled. However, the findings overall were quite positive in the areas of performance. So I'm not going to go through an exhaustive list right now of everything, but I do want to make some notes that you might find interesting. So one of the findings was that arm and leg soft tissue mass changed significantly. Now, if you want to know what that significantly means, you can reference the study in the link below. Change in pre and post squat strength were significant. The vastus lateralis muscle thickness increased. There was a significant, I like this, there was a significant difference in bench press strength among the phosphatidic acid using group. And I can correlate to what has been seen in that result in my own training, which I'll get into in a minute. And then also a significant increase in soft tissue from pre to post testing after 8 weeks for that phosphatidic acid group. And a significant increase in leg mass with the phosphatidic acid group. Now, those aren't all of the benefits. There's going to be more that you can find in that study. So, that's a little bit of information about some of what can be found in studies on this. What do people say that take it? One place, if you're not believing what I say, go check on Amazon. There's a lot of unbiased reviews on many different supplements that you can find there. There's some negative, but there's a lot of positive. Now, for this supplement, I'm going to say the vast majority are actually positive. And I tend to trust them because what people are reporting lines up with the experiences I've had. So what are people saying? They're saying that they get extra reps on most exercises within 2 weeks. So for example, isolation, smaller muscles like a bicep curl, maybe in 2 weeks, your standing curl jumped from 8 reps to 11 reps. That's realistic. Maybe on a 1 rep max, you gain some amount of strength there too, and which I'll get into in a minute. So what else did they notice? So a bigger pump with their workout, right? Muscle fullness. And the reason behind that, as I've mentioned earlier, phosphatidic acid increases glycogen stores in muscle tissues throughout the body, which is awesome because, you're feeling more full in your arms and your chest and your legs, everywhere really. And I personally have noticed that myself, especially days where I train arms and days where I train chest. I have a bit of an extra pump. I feel a little bit more full. I can absolutely say after about 2 to 3 weeks of using the supplement I'm going to discuss, my shirts are tighter. Even without a big body weight change, my shirts just generally feel tighter from the additional glycogen storage and the pump and fullness of my muscles. And, if you're into bodybuilding or powerlifting, that should excite you because let's be honest, the pump feels awesome, right? We all love it. What other changes? As I mentioned, 1 rep max increases have been noticed with different people, a little bit different from person to person because we're all different as far as our genetics and our strength levels and things like that, but it's a pretty common thread. People are noticing these things. So again, it's awesome to see that. And I will also, in just a second, show you some examples of, feedback and the reviews and things that I've seen that are overwhelmingly positive, which is cool to see. Again, for me, my personal experience, and this is the third thing on my checklist that I have to check off before I say, hey guys, this is something I think you should check out. So, for me, most isolation exercises in 2 to 3 weeks will bump up 2 to 3 reps. That's not typical for me without this supplement because, again, I'm an advanced lifter. I have over 25 years in the gym, okay? So for my strength increases and my rep increases to come, it's a slow process, okay? It can take weeks and weeks and sometimes months, even add a couple reps. That's typical for a lot of very advanced trainers. What else do I notice? So as I mentioned, fullness in my muscles, I get a much better pump that I would say also lasts throughout the workout, which I love. I'm not a huge proponent for different pump supplements. One exception would be like citrulline malate. I do like that because it's also got some endurance benefits and things. But just generally like the pump category of supplements never really excited me. I'm more so like what makes a performance difference day to day insofar as my rep numbers, my strength, things like that. Stuff that's tangible and objective that I just don't feel, but I also see in my journal, training journal. So anyway, that's something that I do see. And then for me, as far as 1 rep max increases, now I've been taking this supplement for a little over a year now, and I've run maybe 3 peaking cycles, between bench, squats. I haven't done deadlift peaking in a while. But what I did notice was an additional 10 pounds, from a peaking cycle with this product that I'm going to get into. And, I noticed about the same, give or take, with my squat as well. So I got a little strength bump in my squat. And I can say that as an advanced lifter who has gone through many, strength phases in my career, I know when something is giving me a little bump. And, phosphatidic acid is something. All right, so that's just kind of going through my list, 3 different things. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what's the price for this? It sounds like it might be expensive. You're right. Phosphatidic acid, most of the popular supplement companies are selling this for $60, around that price, for 30 days, and that's if you're getting 600 milligrams per day. And 600 milligrams is a good dose. You're going to get a better bump in performance with a little bit higher dose, but that's generally the price that you're going to pay from the manufacturers that make this. There's about 5 or so different companies that make this, and not much variance in the price or the servings. So that's something to be aware of. But also something to be aware of is that people are paying that price. Jump onto Amazon, jump onto just reviews in general, and you're seeing people spending the money for phosphatidic acid supplements. Why? Well, because unlike many things, it works. And it works pretty consistently, and not just for a beginner, but for someone like myself who is more advanced in their training. So that's a really notable thing to think about. How does it perform for someone who has many years lifting? Their progress usually comes slower. Does this still make a difference? Yes, it does. So, I do want to let you know now, what it is that I'm talking about. The product I'm talking about, and this is, I don't know why it's not talked about more, is called soy lectin, okay? And the specific product that I personally use is Ferns, F-E-A-R-N-S. I'll put a link in the description below with information about the product, where it can be purchased. The website I go to is Swanson. I'm not paid for this, but I think that you all have a right to know when something's affordable, when something makes a performance impact in your training. It's worthwhile, it's worth checking out. So again, I'm gonna put that information below. Some fun facts about this: Arnold Schwarzenegger himself recommended using lectin granules in the Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. Yes, Arnold himself actually used this product. Bruce Lee actually was a heavy advocate of this supplement. He recommended supplements. He liked vitamin C, he liked lectin granules, which I'll talk about. Bee pollen, vitamin E, and wheat germ oil, rose hips are some of the things that Bruce Lee supplemented with, but he was a big proponent of lectin granules. What's interesting though is Arnold and Bruce Lee did not really give the reason behind why they like to supplement with the lectin granules, okay? I'm assuming that they discovered that it actually gave them a bump in their training, a bump in the performance, and they got stronger with it. So that's why I wanted to give you my thoughts as to why did they get stronger with it? What was it within the lectin granules causing those strength increases? And it was the phosphatidic acid. Now, that's pretty important to know because you can save yourselves so much money and get a higher dosage of phosphatidic acid out of a can of Ferns, which I'll show you right now. So this is the product I personally use. It's called Ferns lectin granules, okay? And I'll put a picture up here just now showing you what is in this product. It's not just going to give you phosphatidic acid, okay? It's going to give you a huge dose of it. So 2 tablespoons daily will last you 30 days. And again, the price for that, about $7. Okay, so $7 for 30 days of a big dose of phosphatidic acid. You can't beat that, guys. I mean, this is get this. Just trust me, get it. So again, like I'd mentioned, the companies that are charging $60 for 30 days at 600 milligrams want you to buy that product because it works. Well, guess what? 2 tablespoons is going to give you 1,200 milligrams of phosphatidic acid. That's right, 1,200. So double, you're getting double, and you're paying, I don't even know the math on that, but much, much less, okay? Less than a third or a quarter of the price that they would charge you. So again, it gets a big glowing review from me. I recommend it to you, especially if you're a strength athlete or you want to try and get more reps. It can also help you if you're a bodybuilder, right? We all love that pump, so give it a shot, check it out. Again, link below. I do want to tell you a little bit more about lectin, granules, because it's not just the benefit you're getting of the phosphatidic acid in this product. There's other things as well that are, going to help give you, general health benefits, okay? So you might be asking yourself, what is lectin? So lectin is a compound, and it contains 2 fatty acids and choline, okay? It's the most common phospholipid in the body, and phospholipids are cells forming a protective sheath around other cells, and providing for their framework. So really, what does that mean? What is lectin? It's a purified phosphatidylcholine, also known as PC, and it's found in many animal proteins, okay? So things like beef, lamb, liver, pork, you can also get it in soybeans, egg, yolks, oatmeal, wheat germ, again, recommended by Bruce Lee, and peanuts, okay? So that's pretty cool because those sources of protein also have somewhat of a natural anabolic built into them. They're giving you some additional things as well. So, who would benefit from lectin? Not just phosphatidic acid, but lectin. So virtually anyone, really, who wants to help their body process fats better, right? So think about this. About 25% of your brain, okay, the weight of your brain is phospholipids, right? Many of your vital organs, so things like your liver, your muscles, your reproductive tract, these all have high quantities of phospholipids. And the most common phospholipid is actually lectin. Lectin's a good supplement to take for people with a variety of different ailments. So things like if you had eczema, right, it can help with that. If you experience anxiety, which I occasionally can get, and I've noticed not anymore, it can help with anxiety. If you have gallbladder attacks, it can help with hepatitis. It can help with liver support. It can even help with depression, guys. So I'm giving you a super supplement here. It's going to give you a mental boost, and it's going to give you a performance boost, a physical boost as well. Again, where can you get this? Like I said before, I'll put the link in the description below. So I like Swanson. It's a great website. Things are very affordable. And if you search within the website, you will find a discount code. So look for that, and you'll get an additional discount. Me personally, I like to buy 6 months worth. So literally right around $40, and $40 gets me 6 months. So I get 6 cans of this for $40. I mean, that's so much phosphatidic acid. If I were spending that, through, one of the companies that sells the product that's just purely phosphatidic acid, first of all, I'm not getting the benefits of the lectin that you would get out of something like this. And second of all, I'm spending a fortune if I'm doing that. And I'm not going to do that for a few extra reps or, 5-10 pounds in my bench. It's just not worth it to me. But something like, the lectin is absolutely worth it because there's multiple benefits that go beyond just the strength increase. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you for today. Basically just wanted to let you know that this is my top recommended supplement, right? It's for strength, for performance. The mental benefits are there. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I recommend it to a lot of my clients, and they get back to me within 2 weeks, and they're like, "Dom, this stuff is amazing." I feel my muscles that are bigger. They're more pumped in the gym. The reps feel easier. Yeah, I think that's some things that you're going to notice. And just before I close this video, I wanted to let you know about my personal recommendation for dosage. This is what I do myself. Not saying you personally should do it. You got to consider things like your body weight, and your tolerance. Generally, people won't have difficulty tolerating this supplement. If you do go a little bit over, you basically might experience some upset stomach, indigestion, a little bit of diarrhea, okay? But I think you have to go really well over what the recommendation is for that. Myself personally, I like to use 3 tablespoons. That gives me 1,800 milligrams of phosphatidic acid. So I'll do that every day. Days I don't train, in the morning with breakfast. I like to have it with carbs, okay? It helps with that extra fullness. And then on days where I do train, I'll do it 1 hour pre-workout. And again, I like to have some form of carbs. I'll generally have some oatmeal. I like that. But if you do that 1 hour before your workout, almost from day one, you should probably notice somewhat of an additional pump and fullness to your muscles when you get to your training session an hour later, all right? What does this stuff taste like? So it's interesting, you know, if I showed you the consistency of it, and just another note, I like to get a separate tablespoon that I use with it. You know, you can grab these off Amazon, they're cheap enough. But the consistency of it is interesting. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but basically they're granules, right? So they're not very large, but you know, what I like to do is I'll put it on things like yogurt. It mixes very easily in a protein shake, and here's something cool I found. With a protein shake, it will actually give it more of a creamy kind of flavor. So, you know, if you're not putting things like milk in your protein shake and you want it to be a little more tasty, this will actually do that for you. I like that. You know, if you're hardcore, which I was and I'm not as much anymore, you can literally just dome shot it, right? What's that, the popular thing on the internet now? You dome shot it, right? But wash it back with some water. It gets the job done. Again, you might get sick of doing that after a while. I did. But it'll mix very easily with different things. All right, guys, so that's what I got for you today. I highly recommend, if you take this yourself, you know, don't take my word for it. Try it yourself. Give it at least 3 to 5 weeks, okay? And then, you know, let me know. Jump into comments and say, hey, Dom, man, this was awesome. Or, you know, Dom, I didn't get the same result you got. Like, what's up with that? I want to know either way. What was your experience, right? This is all about sharing information. What's working for me? I want to know what's working for you, right? So it's a good place to kind of, you know, talk about that. And, you know, the other thing I would say is I'm trying to pay it forward, guys. Like, so I've spent a lot of money, a lot of years trying different things, seeing what works for me, what works for people I work with. And I want you guys to have access to that information without wasting money. You know, and this, again, is cheap. You're not really losing anything if it doesn't work, but I think it will. So what I would say is, you know, comment below, let everybody know what you think. And if you have friends who enjoy lifting, share this with them, okay? Let them know too. Don't keep it to yourself, right? You know, we all deserve to get stronger. We all deserve to enjoy our training and get a little performance bump here and there. So, you know, that's one way you can help your friends do that. All right, guys, if you liked the video, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and, you know, put the little subscribe link up there. And, you know, I've got some great stuff coming. Next up, I got my fourth workout of my 4-day split coming up. So that's going to be back training. We're going to throw in some traps, and, you know, we're also going to throw in, I'm trying to think, back traps, and calves as well. So yeah, we'll get that done today. And then hopefully I'll get that out to you guys next week. All right, guys. Well, I'll talk to you later, and you know, have a great week.